Okay, morning, folks. Welcome to the briefing on Friday the 2nd. Most are aware that, everybody should be aware that there's a competition running. So we'll brief on our weather, airspace, and just how we can operate with the comp progressing. So yesterday, we had a high pressure just down over the south of us, and it's slowly collapsed. And this is the chart for midday today, showing that it's not really sort of changed. 2016, in fact, the pressure's gone down very, very slightly, and there's a little bit of cyclonic curvature in the isobars here. So I think that's giving a tiny amount of instability in the mid-levels. These frontal systems, and you'll see coming in over the next 24 hours, and by midday tomorrow, they're coming across us, giving sort of rain on and off for a lot of Saturday. The TAFs today, well, Farnborough aren't really sort of saying much apart from it's going to improve. And it couldn't be any worse than looking out the window now with the sort of misty low cloud. That'll burn off. And they're saying sometime between sort of 7 and 10, it'll go up to fewer, sort of 1,600 feet. Gatwick, more sensible, few at 2.5, and looking further north, I think by sort of early afternoon, few at 3.5 is probably what we'd expect. Obviously, the Gatwick is 24-hour TAF, and it just shows the weather deteriorating later in the day. But generally, winds also 240 there, 4 knots. Gatwick 210 knots from the afternoon, so it's southwesterly flow with that approaching front, which always means that sometime in the afternoon we're going to see the sea air roll in. Upper winds southerly here and really sort of southwesterly across most of the UK. Not strong, see up to 5,000 feet, 5 knots, and again even at 5,000 feet down in the Channel it's 15, but light southerly southwesterly flow. The sat pick, I'll just sort of leave it on there and run it from, say, 7:45. This is the stuff that's burning off now, and the infrared shows this band of frontal band of cloud slowly coming in. It's predicted to sort of come in mid-late afternoon in thicker bands and slowly kill it around here, perhaps a little bit earlier than normal. Temperature-wise, I think over fairly large area, about the same as yesterday, 22 degrees, maybe a little bit more than that. Down over us, I think it's 22, maybe 23 in the Midlands. BBC are suggesting the same. And dew points, well, they're currently fairly high. They're about 13, and they're going to go up. So hopefully, when we start a little bit later on this morning, getting a rise in cloud base and then some mixing with proper thermals beginning to start, dew points will go down to around about 10s and 11s. So pretty good temperature split. You should see, say, 3,500 foot cloud base here, and a bit better up towards the Oxford area. I just thought I'd put this one on. You can just see the beginnings of the rain coming in here. That's the stuff that's going to come in overnight. Soundings. This is Lasham at 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock local. So putting in 21 degrees, you're seeing about 3,500 feet above Lasham at best. But late afternoon, sort of 4 or 5 o'clock, it all goes a bit wrong with the lines coming apart, cloud thickening up here. This is probably where I suspect we're going to start to see the influence of sea air and the upper cloud beginning to kill things off. But looking further north, Oxford area, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, still soarable, 22 degrees in there. It's giving cloud base about 4,500 feet above sea level. So still quite good in that part of the country. But if you're coming back from that area, cross-country pilot, it's deteriorating as it goes on. So top meteo, I'll just have to log on again. And it's showing the same sort of thing. So by 12 o'clock, we're starting to see thermal activity around Lasham, but 1 o'clock, it's properly going to 2,500 to 3,000 feet in here. And then as the afternoon goes on, that's 3 o'clock, still okay around here, 1,500 meters. So somewhere near 4,000 feet. And up round Oxford, they're sort of saying 15, 16, 1,700 meters in this area. So 4,500 to 5,000 feet. But you can see it beginning to deteriorate from the south. And probably by 5 o'clock, we really are starting to see the influence of the sea air and the deterioration of the conditions. So it still remains useful in this area here. Forecasting showers up through the Midlands, so I wouldn't venture too much further than sort of Buckingham, Bicester, beyond that maybe a little bit, but not too far that way. Both Heathrow, Luton, Stansted are giving a shower forecast from about 2 o'clock onwards. And the BBC were showing isolated showers just occasionally in here and more so in this area north of Oxford. Cloud amounts. Low cloud should have lifted by 11 and 12 o'clock. We're showing cumulus. Beginning to see the influence from the rain and upper cloud down to the south. And as the day goes on, that marches towards us. That sort of 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock time. We'll still have cumulus under here, but we'll start to see the upper cloud. And still cloud out to the north Oxford area, but we're starting to see the influence of the sea air probably and the upper cloud beginning to kill it off. So should be a reasonable day, folks. I think top meteo were sort of 2 to 3 knot thermals. The site forecast for Lasham was showing reasonably soarable, scattered broken cloud for most of the day. So should be quite good. Okay, airspace. Locally, number 14. Well, that's us with the competition. That's no time. Hopefully, stops too many overflies of the airfield, makes people sort of skirt around a little bit. Number 7, Southampton's operating hours. And number 19 is Cardiff's operating hours. So in here we've got Salisbury Plain danger area. It's notification number 16 that the danger area crossing service is not available. 17 is the Keble temporary danger area. That's operating between 10 and 2 Friday. So the military have a half day, of course. And then 29 and 36, there's paragliding. And number 36 is flares up to 600 feet at Abingdon. Not necessarily at the airfield, I don't think, but just of note. The main one to really note, folks, is there's Royal Airspace on 2 occasions out of Kemble. So for the competition, we're not tasking in that direction. You just can't guarantee. One's to 11 o'clock in the morning and the other one's mid-afternoon. And then there's an airway heading to the northwest, number 39 there, that operates the same time as the Royal Flight Airspace. So that's blocked effectively, that area there. So task-wise, I would recommend up to the northeast and in the area around here, folks, as it looks the best area. So competition will be operating from the runway. Today they'll be launching 2.7. We'll be launching 2.7. They're gridded around this area here. They'll launch that way. When they come back, there's a finishing ring, and then they'll land back to the east, either on the main runway or the 2 grass areas down here. We're operating from here. The launch point vehicle is set up here anyway. What I would ask, if you're going to launch before the competition, put your glider out and we'll get you going. Once the competition launches, I don't really want a grid. I'd like everybody just tucked in next to the Perry track, because if we get relights landing here, we're going to launch them in this direction, and I don't want to be launching past a sort of static grid. So that's the only thing we ask today. As soon as the comp goes and we know we've got people out of the local airspace, we'll restart club operations. It's probably going to be 15-20 minutes after the last launch of the competition. Reduced price aerotos for club members for today, tomorrow and Sunday, because we can't winch. That's really about it, folks. Have fun today. Make the most of it, because tomorrow and Sunday look a little bit iffy, unfortunately. Okay, see you out there.